Badenoch, Leader of the Opposition. Tell us a bit about why you're here today.
This is all part of our Take Back Our Streets campaign. We are seeing an increase in lawlessness and people not being punished for it. Graffiti everywhere, open taking of drugs, and people just walk on by. And what we want to talk about today is immediate justice. If someone sprays graffiti and ruins a high street, they should be made to clean it up when they're caught, not getting someone from the council to fix it at taxpayers' and residents' expense. And what we're seeing here is just how hard it is, how expensive it is, how difficult it is. But that's just one element of taking back our streets. We need more police officers. We want to make sure that where there are crime hotspots, we've got live facial recognition. People need to feel the consequence if there is wrongdoing. It is not fair that the law-abiding have to pay the cost while other people are getting off scot-free.
Okay, thank you. And I'm just going to ask you about a couple of topical issues now as well. So just this morning we've heard that the Prime Minister and Emmanuel Macron are going to host the summit on the Strait of Hormuz in Paris on Friday. What do you think the Prime Minister's priority should be for that meeting, and how should he achieve that?
So the Prime Minister's priority needs to be our defence readiness. We can't help anyone if we haven't got ships that are fit to sail. I was really worried when I saw HMS Dragon taking 2 weeks to get out of Portsmouth. Defence readiness is what everyone is talking about right now. Lord Robertson, who wrote the Strategic Defence Review, has now criticised the government very heavily, saying that our national security is in peril because too much money is going into welfare and not on defence. And that's something that Keir Starmer really needs to think about. I'm willing to work cross-party with him, but if he doesn't have a defence plan, then he's just having a meeting to talk about a meeting.
Okay, thank you. And talking about Iran again, last night at the Parliamentary Labour Party meeting, John Healey claimed that the opposition parties, including yourself, have been badly exposed by the crisis that resulted from the war in Iran. Do you agree with it?
I think this is wishful thinking on the part of Labour if they believe that the public are looking at the opposition parties as the ones who caused this war. We are in this war whether we like it or not. We didn't start it. What people want to know is what we are going to do about it now. And what they are seeing is a Labour government that was caught on the hop, unprepared. When the Ukraine war started, we in the Conservative government were ready. We had sent missiles, munitions. We had been thinking about what to do. We could see it coming. Labour were warned that this was happening, and they did absolutely nothing. They even took our only minesweeper out of the Gulf. They were not ready for war because all they spend their time thinking about is welfare. They're not the Labour Party anymore, really. They're just the welfare party.
Thank you. And just on that topic as well, I just heard you speaking to the pool broadcasters, in which you mentioned the idea of cuts to welfare spending to fund defence. One of the largest areas of welfare expenditure is the state pensions, kind of 44%. Is there no time for conversation about abandoning the triple lock?
The critical thing we need to do is get people off welfare and into work. It is the out-of-work benefits that are the biggest scandal. Moving around money from the triple lock does not create growth. Getting people off welfare into work creates growth, and it's a double whammy because those people don't need to be paid benefits, but they're also contributing taxes to the exchequer. So our priority is to get Britain working again, to bring down the welfare bill, to create economic growth. If we were growing at 2%, 3%, we would not even be talking about the triple lock. We weren't talking about it before because we were growing and it wasn't a problem. The real critical problem is growth, and the people who create growth are businesses. It's not really government. Government just needs to create the conditions. And what businesses are saying up and down the country is that this government doesn't understand them. It's creating more and more burdens. They're having to let go of staff, cut wages. They're not investing. Some of them are closing down. We need to get Britain working again if we want to see a stronger economy.
And on Lord Robertson's criticism of the Prime Minister and the defence spending, he said that the Prime Minister is leaving this country in peril. Your party was also in government for 14 years. Does it accept its responsibility for lack of defence spending, and will you apologise for that?
So Lord Robertson has been saying what I've been saying for a long time, that this government just wants to spend all of its money on welfare and not on defence. It doesn't matter how we have got here. We know since 1989, every single party in government, Conservatives, Labour, Lib Dems, reduced defence spending until 2022. When I was in Cabinet, we increased defence spending, starting with Boris Johnson, but we increased defence spending. It is not enough. There is a war on. We need to do more. The government does not have a defence investment plan. It has a welfare plan. A plan to spend on welfare till 2031, doesn't know what it's spending on defence. So it is right that Lord Robertson, a former Labour Defence Secretary, former Secretary General of NATO, is pointing this out. I completely agree with him.
Now you're calling for cuts in benefits to fund defence spending. Why did the last Conservative government make those same choices at the time?
Well, I'm saying that we need to put back the two-child benefit cap and use that money for defence. We didn't have the two-child benefit cap. We didn't lift the two-child benefit cap. We put it in place. Labour wants to increase welfare. We're saying we can use that money to get 20,000 extra troops, 14,000 reservists, 6,000 regulars. We also have found money from Ed Miliband's net zero projects, wasteful, taking that and putting it into a sovereign defence fund. That's another 17 to 50 billion pounds. But the bottom line is that there is a war on, and the Prime Minister can see that we do not have enough defence readiness. He does not have a plan. I've offered to work with him. I've offered cross-party that defence should not be party political. Let's work together. You know what he said to me yesterday? No thanks. He is not serious about defence.
And on Pope Leo, do you believe President Trump's explanation that the image he posted online was meant to show him as a doctor, not Jesus? In your view, should the President apologise for that tweet?
Personally, I think that there's far too much time spending tweeting and not enough time spent focusing on solving problems. I think that tweet has been deleted. I think it was actually quite ridiculous looking. It's the sort of thing that other people should be making jokes about, not something a president should be putting out.
Should he apologise?
Well, I think the tweet has been deleted. I'm here to hold Keir Starmer and the Labour government to account. That's my job. It's not my job to hold Donald Trump to account. If he says something that makes sense, like spend more money on defence, I'll agree with him. If he says something stupid or something wrong, I will disagree with him. That's what I do. I'm not here to be, a follower or an attacker of another country's leader. I am here to work in the British national interest. And what I'm saying is that our Prime Minister needs to do more on keeping our country safe. He needs to get his defence investment plan out. It is late. Even his own party people are saying so. A former Labour Defence Secretary absolutely scathing today, saying that our security is in peril. The Prime Minister needs to deal with that now, not worry about Donald Trump's tweets.
And on the Strait of Hormuz, who's got it right on the blockade? Is it President Trump or is it Keir Starmer, and why?
Well, the fact of the matter is that the oil that passes through the Straits of Hormuz is needed all around the globe. It is wrong for Iran to blockade, irrespective of a war being on. And if President Trump wants to try and fix that, he should do, because he started this war, so he owns it. If it's broken, he owns it. What worries me is that even if we wanted to help in a blockade, I'm not sure that we've got the ships to do so. HMS Dragon took 2 weeks to get out of Portsmouth to get to the Mediterranean and then develop technical faults. Throughout the time that we were in government, we did not have that kind of thing happen. When the war in Ukraine started, we were ready. We had already sent munitions, missile supplies. What is Keir Starmer doing? He knew that this was going to happen. He had advance warning. He was not ready. That's what's worrying me. He will try and blame the last government, but the fact is things like that did not happen on the last government's watch. We had a warship stuck in Portsmouth on the Labour government's watch. He needs to get ready.
And finally, on the Reform UK Boris Wave announcement yesterday, you appear prominently in the Stop the Boris Wave booklet. There's 41 pages to this document. You're featured prominently on the front, but yet you're not mentioned on one single occasion in the booklet. Why do you think that was, and what's your reaction to their call for inquiry?
So I think that Reform are trying to distract from the fact that they have in their party Nadine Dorries, who was in Boris Johnson's cabinet, Jake Berry, who was in Boris Johnson's cabinet, Nadeem Zahawi, who was in Boris Johnson's cabinet, Suella Braverman, who was in Boris Johnson's cabinet, and Robert Jenrick, who was also in Boris Johnson's cabinet. Who wasn't in Boris's cabinet? Me. They think that they can confuse the public with their gimmicks, giving away energy, prizes to their party members and pretending that it's the public. That's what Reform does. It's all gimmicks and silly things. We're out here doing something serious. I've got my shadow cabinet actually making people's lives better. We're cleaning up the streets. We're taking back our streets. We're doing something serious and real. We are the only credible alternative to Labour, and that's what I think the public will see.